peace that surpasses all understanding. Sex and sexuality. um, in more recent, I just deleted, I did this share already once and I deleted it because I don't really feel like it captured the essence of what I was trying to get at. Um, so I erased it, took a kind of a deep meditative breath, and let's refocus and see if we can get a little bit deeper. And I've done actually a couple where a couple of videos, um, like video journaling for my own benefit, talk therapy with my own self, and then listening back, and that's what I'm drawing on. But I had an experience. It's been an ongoing experience and very gently unfolding itself. But the other night, I had come off of a marathon plowing shift, and I was. I think we can all identify with that moment that where we've been awake for so long, so exhausted, so tired. We're almost having like a psychedelic experience. I had been awake for like 23 hours, and not just awake for 23 hours, but physical labor, shoveling, uh, plowing, all this stuff, and my body was. I would liken it to a psychedelic experience. You get to that point where you're just so tired, and that night when I fell asleep, I had a dream or a vision, however you want to, you know, my feelings about dreams um, aren't just subconscious manifestations of what's going on in our conscious life. I actually believe that sometimes our dreams are outworking on an ethereal level with our higher selves. We're outworking distortions or densities, and the dream was an amalgamation of all my sexual experiences and how I perceived them from the distorted perception and from a divine perception. And one of the and um, you know precursor. I may be talking about some sensitive stuff. You can talk about war and murder and violence all day long and watch that crap on the idiot box, and nobody raises an eyebrow. And you start talking about sex, and look out, man. But I'm going to be talking about sex, so um, transparency. But drawing on all my distorted experiences, traumatic sexual experiences, abusive as a child, um, in my in my teen years, up until about the age of 17, 18, 19, whatever, being a sex worker, working, having female clients, and them express, whatever those experiences, what that was like, and not, two marriages, and the two former marriages being like completely opposite of one another. In my first marriage, my former wife, she had experienced trauma, and she was not interested in sex. She could have, she didn't have any interest in physical sexual intimacy. Everything else, affection, hand holding, hugs, she on board, and we had a great deal of things in common. In my relationship with my second former wife, I would perceive her as someone as being hypersexual, um, coming from, again, a place where she had experienced trauma, and If we consider the five languages of love, um, she perceived love and acceptance through sexual experiences. That's how she felt loved, and I couldn't keep up or maintain with her sexual libido, and she went elsewhere. But from all of these distorted sexual experiences, it is my experience, and it is my firm belief that we through every experience, whether we can we classify it as a negative or a positive, we we uh, we learn what we want and what we don't want, what we're capable of, what our light and dark is capable of, and how we manifest that energy. And I can look back on all of my sexual experiences, and see the light and the dark, the distortion and the clarity, and glean the positive experiences throughout. A What did I learn from that distorted? There's this is not lovemaking. This is effing. This is using someone's body to masturbate. This is an energetic exchange, a loving energetic exchange, and we can create something. Now, I don't know what we can create, because this is the question. This is the thing that's been gnawing at me, and it's been getting progressively more and more intense. The question is getting louder, because I know at this point in my life, I feel very comfortable in my own body. I feel very comfortable expressing myself on an affectionate sexual level. I feel comfortable. Um, I don't, I feel comfortable. Um, Self awareness. And when I consider some of the more profound energetic sexual exchanges, it wasn't necessarily reciprocated, but I know what I was projecting. I know what I was projecting. The energy, and I don't, I, and when I talk about the energy, the sexual energy, I'm not talking about the sexual energy of bliss. I'm not talking about the sexual energy of the orgasm. While that's part of it, that's not what I'm referring to. I feel, I've had this book for a while. I have glasses. The writing, I either need to get much stronger glasses, which isn't agreeable with me because it gives me headaches, or to find a larger print version of this book. But the Magdalene manuscripts, I've only skimmed it on a very elementary level, skimmed, and only in parts and bits and pieces. But the general idea is that, like, in mainstream understanding, like the programming, um, sex is procreative. It's for reproduction, for having babies, and for pleasure. It's a pleasurable experience with the outcome being that you're going to reproduce. Um, and I feel deeply, based on drawing on the positive aspects of an amalgamation of each of my sexual experiences, about the energy that's created. Um, and trying to understand why. Now, this is where it's going to get a little ethereal and a little bit out there, but, and you call it whatever you want to call it. I have a memory, and what might be referred to as a past life memory, where I was with my mate, and we weren't human like in this form, and it was a conscious memory. It wasn't something that I dreamed in my sleep. It was a conscious memory, um, in a very anyway. And I was with my mate, um, and we were lying beside each other, and in what was perceptively a post coital, post orgasmic bliss, lying beside each other after a sexually creative experience. And it was without a doubt one of as far as like a memory like that, but that inner knowing of like there is something well beyond what we experience here in this human vessel, as opposed to what can be really achieved through a divine union. And what I'm getting at is, given the environment that we're in, and there's distortion about sex everywhere, as I mentioned earlier, you can talk about violence all day long and nobody bats an eyelid. And then you talk about sex and it's like, oh, taboo. The energy that's created in the, again, going back to taking all of the positive experiences and how those experiences felt, and and what I was projecting into those experiences, my emotion, my intimacy, my heart, mind, body, spirit, the entire, I'm going to invest all of me into this experience. And as I've dealt with my trauma and the distortions of my perceptions around mainstream sex, intimacy, lovemaking, whatever, I've also come into an awareness of the energy that's created between, it's something that we cannot do on our own as an individual. Me on my own, I cannot create that energy. She, whoever she is, cannot create that energy on her own. But together in union, we can have a blissful sexual experience culminating in an energy produced that, as of yet, I am uncertain how these energies work, but I know they exist. And how do you harness that energy and manifest change, manifest manifest healing, manifest something greater than the experience itself, the experience of sex itself. It's a powerful, it's a powerful, and I excuse me, I continue to go back to that memory of this past life, this experience that I had with my mate. And when I say mate, it's the I feel a connection. I feel a connection to my mate. Um, it's incredible. Like I'm here. I speak your truth, Scott. Um, I feel like I signed up for this, to come here and have this experience. And maybe my mate followed along. Maybe she's here too. I don't know. But I don't get that impression. I feel like she's at home waiting for me. Um, but that experience of that experience that I remembered. It's like two parts coming back, remembered, you know. Um, that experience that I remember, it yes, the memory of the exchange was beautiful, but it was the energy and what we manifested, and I'm still not sure. It was maybe we were manifesting the connection that I was going to need to sustain me for what I'm doing here. I don't know. This is all very ethereal, very um, um, dimensional type stuff that I'm experiencing, but I can't deny that the other night, being that tired, coming off of that plow shift and being like punch drunk, uh, almost hallucinating, that tired, and the clarity of thought, even though I was completely exhausted, um, I would definitely equate it to a psychedelic experience. I'm It's fascinating. It's just fascinating because I know, again, through my experiences, um, my sexual experiences, I've learned what sex isn't, and what I do want and what I don't want. Um, I mean, maybe visceral sex is, hey, there's a time and a place for there's a time and a place for everything. And if both parties are agreeable, and you're in a loving relationship, and you're looking you're looking for we as individuals with our partner are looking for a quickie or a nooner or whatever you want to call it. Hey, game on! But you're in a loving relationship. You know what I'm talking about is those experiences that go beyond the senses, um, go beyond physical taste, touch, smell, visual. And I know it exists. I know it exists because I felt those energies in me. Um, I felt those energies in me, no doubt, no doubt. And I'm curious. Someone who's genuinely, um, like, what would that energy manifest? What would that energy manifest? How would we harness that? But now I feel like I'm rambling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the stop button. I'm going to wish you a peace that surpasses all understanding. And I'm going to hit the stop button. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to rewatch this and decide whether or not I want to post it. If it seems like it's in alignment with the message or the feeling or the sense that I'm trying to convey. If I do post this and you find resonance with this, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in somebody's sexual experiences. I don't need to hear details, but if you resonate with the spirit of what I'm getting at, the energy that's created in divine union, I would be very interested to hear your experiences around that. And I would really like to come to a better awareness and understanding of where this energy concept, sexualized energy, and what we can manifest. I would really like to try to understand that a lot better and come to some clarity about why this is such a um, powerful and reoccurring idea. I don't think it's just something there I manifested, that this is well beyond my own ability to have an idea. So I want to understand this better. Peace that surpasses all understanding. And I'm going to leave my email in the description box. Feel free to reach out, and have a glorious day. Let's create some energy. I'm out.